basics of a bowling action. We'll open up sort of conversation to you guys and see what you think we need to try and bowl fast, but more importantly, try and bowl with a bit of swing. Okay, why do you think we want to bowl with swing? What's the purpose? What's the benefit in swinging the ball? Anyway, start us off.
To like confuse the batsman, so
Okay.
he could like edge it sometimes.
Yeah, okay, so we're trying to exploit the edge of the bat. Yeah, try and lure the batsman into a shot that he thinks is there, but then it's not. Yeah, what's another reason for swinging the ball? Is there any benefit in bowling? Do you think batsmen nowadays are that scared of someone who bowls really fast? No, not much, because they probably practiced against a machine in an indoor environment and they're quite used to the pace. Okay, so if you bowl dead straight and at 90 miles an hour, there's probably batsmen out there that can face that. But if you bowl at 90 miles an hour and swing it, now we're talking a whole new different game. Okay, so there's a huge advantage to swing, especially if you look at guys like James Anderson, come to the back end of his career. He's always been a good swing bowler, but they need to swing more because their pace is starting to drop. But if they can be skillful at swinging the ball, that means they're still in the game. Okay? Do you need to swing the ball a lot, or do you need to swing the ball with them? What do you think? What do you think is more beneficial? A little. Why?
Well, because then if it moves quite far, then it may go for wide, and if it just moves a little bit off, like onto off something, the batsman will think that it's going further than that.
Yeah, yeah, give some good valid points. So again, thinking about if the ball swings a lot, okay, the batsman already plays the line that he thinks the ball's going to go, and if it swings a lot, he's just going to miss it the whole time. So you're not really getting that edge. So it might look nice, it might feel good, and you'll bowl 10 overs for 1 run, possibly, but have no wickets. But if you swing the ball only a couple of inches, you've got more chance of getting the edge on the bat, don't you? Yeah? Okay. Right, we'll start with a quick warm-up for those who've joined us, and then we'll get into it. I'm a right-handed bowler. The ideal position for... Right, hang on. How many types of swing are there, first of all? Yep.
2 or 3.
Okay, we'll try with 2. Let's go with 2. Okay, so we've got away swing and in swing. Okay? As a player, when I used to play, I was an away swing bowler. Okay? So the grip for an away swing bowler, the grip that I used to use, was my fingers were together, running in line with the seam, and the thumb was on the underside of the ball in between those 2 fingers. The 4th and the 5th finger were just resting to the side. If you can, in an ideal world, they shouldn't be touching the ball, but a lot of players just sort of rest gently on the ball. Why do you think you don't want to have that touching the ball or having control on that ball? Yeah?
It kind of slows it down a bit.
It could slow you down, but it can also affect your wrist position, okay? Swing bowling, predominantly, is very important to have your wrist in the right position, okay? If your wrist is in a good position, the ball should naturally swing, or at least you're given it its best chance to swing, okay? Away swing bowling, what you're looking to do is, I'm a right-handed person obviously, if you have a slight bend in your wrist, that encourages your hand and the palm of your hand to be presented to the bowler and allows the ball to hopefully swing away from a right hand. Does that make sense? Okay. If that's my grip for a away swing, what do you think I can change to allow me to get my wrist to present the seam in that position, which will allow it to be an in-swinger to the right hand? What do you think?
Cross seam.
Okay, so if I cross seam it and the seam goes scrambling down, do you think that's going to swing?
No.
Okay, so let's assume the seam is nice and straight. So again, that's my release position for an away swing ball. I'll let it go. The seam is angling towards sort of first slip or second slip, and I'll trust it to swing. How can I get that seam position pointing in that direction at release? What do you think? The clue's in the wrist. What do you think?
Would it be like kind of twisting the wrist a bit?
A little bit. Okay, so if I have that kink in my wrist, it's easier for my hand to do that. Okay? If I straighten my wrist, all of a sudden, if I just move my fingers, look at the seam position. Okay, so that's one easy thing you can do, an easy adjustment. If you would like to bowl an in-swinger, think about straightening your wrist. Okay? If you'd like to bowl an away swinger, think about having a little kink in your wrist. Okay? We're going to give that a try, but before we give that a try, how important do you think it is to present the seam as straight as possible, whether it be for an away swinger or an in-swinger? Is the ball going to swing if the seam's wobbling around? No. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is, if you are serious about swing bowling, what you can do to help you get used to the feel of the ball leaving your hand is just a simple wrist flick. Okay, so what we're going to do is you don't need one of these, it's beneficial if we have, but you can just get into a partner, you're going to support your elbow underneath with your opposite hand. All you're going to do is literally try and release the ball, and hopefully the seam, it's not going to be very hard, ready? Yeah? You're just going to release it just like that, very gently, and just practice releasing the ball and seeing if your seam is away swing, in swing, dead straight, whatever it is. Okay? So grab a partner, grab a ball. Let's do 10 of those each, just get used to the feel, and then we'll come back in before we dock off. Have a look at your seam and see if I can pick your seam up. Okay, so again, I'm not looking for full run-ups at the moment, just 2 or 3 steps, jump in and ball, and let's see if we can just get that seam going. I don't care if it hits the side net, I don't care if it hits the ceiling at the moment, but let's just see if we can get the seam, if you can see the seam coming up. One thing I've just had a look as you're all bowling, just addressing the grip in its own. I see a lot of us at the moment, we're holding the ball quite close to the tips of our fingers, okay? And we're also having our fingers rock hard and really stiff and straight on the ball, Okay? So, do you think I've got a good amount of control on that ball right now? No? Okay. What I'd like you to try is to try and bring the ball back a little bit in your grip. You can use either the spacing of 2 fingers or even 1 finger, but let it try and sit a little bit deeper in the hand. Okay? And the fingers should just wrap around and curl around it a little bit more. Okay? You need to be able to have a firm enough grip on it, but equally, the grip, do not squeeze the ball. Okay? It just needs to be nice and comfortable for you to be able to have control over letting the ball go. Okay? I'd like us now to try, and we're all going to try, and it's going to challenge for, I think, half of the group, just judging by what I've seen being bowled. I'd like us all to try a bit of a way swing bowling. Okay, so thinking back to what we spoke about at the beginning, in terms of the wrist position, the grip, these new points we've just given in terms of having the ball set back slightly in the hand with the 2 fingers wrapping around as opposed to being completely stiff. Okay? Let's try and see if we can all present the seam in a position to allow the ball, might not swing, but let's just see if we can have an opportunity to allow the ball to swing away from a right-handed batter. Let's assume there's a right-handed batsman on that side. Okay? So it's a challenge. We'll go for about 5 minutes. Try and think about, I'll come and have a chat with each of you individually, but let's have a think about trying to bowl an away swinger to a right-handed batsman. All clear? Right, off you go. A brand new ball, which I used to bowl with, because it's swung quite nice, but I was able to do the fingers quite close together. And the older the ball got, it's just space my fingers out on the reader, just to allow a seam to get straight to the ball also, and allow the ball to swing. Half of your thumb, hanging that there, rest on the ball, okay? In-swinger, and then try and rest on the flat of your thumb and you bring your thumb look at the difference. Look at these fingers, how they've changed angles just by turning the thumb. Okay? Now, in-swinger, I've changed the outside half of my thumb. Look at the hand position now. Does that make sense? Yeah? Pointing towards the first step. If I now rotate that onto the flat side of the thumb, that's a subtle change. Flat of the thumb is here, side of the thumb to the away swinger. Yeah? Side of the So, for a right-handed bowler, swinging it away from a right-handed batsman, that's awesome. That's why you like to get the ball going away from the back because it makes it harder for that batsman to score. Okay? Left armers, I know there's a couple of us. We're going to now come to your natural swing, I think. Okay, so we're still going to have a right-handed batsman. But this time, we're going to try and swing the ball into a right-handed batsman. Okay, so for you lefties, it's going to be a normal away swing grip for you. But as right-handed bowlers, we're going to have to think about changing it slightly to swing it back into the right-handed batsman. Okay? Now, I've mentioned a couple of things to some people, but what's the smallest but most effective change we can have to our grip if we're trying to shape it back into as opposed to away from a right-hander?
Changing the position of the thumb on the ball.
Okay, so that little secret to a lot of people. Right, having a quick look at the grip. So, away swing grip for me as a right-handed bowler, the thumb on the underside of the ball, I'm lining it up on the outside of the thumb in the middle of the seam. Does that make sense? Okay, so from that position, Can you all see that my fingers and the palm is pointing slightly towards the offside stroke first slip? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. By simply changing that thumb position to putting the flat of my thumb, okay, under the ball, so no longer on the side of the thumb, so just changing it to the flat of the thumb. What's happened to my hand position now? Is it pointing more towards fine leg, or is it still in the same place?
It's skew.
It's skewed. Hey, hang on, it's not meant to be skewed. I'm joking. Right? It's pointing more towards the leg side, would you agree? Yeah? Okay, so that's a little subtle change that you can do. Without tinkering an awful lot with your grip, that should hopefully allow your wrist position to change and increase the chance of the seam being presented for either an away swing or an in swinger. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, let's all have a crack at that. So right-handers, you're going to go experiment with your thumb. Lefties, you're probably going to go to the outside of your bottom supporting thumb, whereas the right-handers, you're going to go to the flat of the thumb. Does that make sense? Yeah? Right, let's have a go. Let's see who can bowl. I think there's going to be a lot of in-swingers bowled, yeah? I think it's a natural movement for a few of us. Swing bowling just for about 10 minutes. I'm aware that there's another fast bowling clinic a couple of weeks from now with John Blaine potentially. So we'll touch on a bit of fast bowling, but then we'll come back at the end of it to see if we can add pace or fast bowling with swing. Can you do both? Yes, you can. Okay. What I'd like to look at, again, not thinking about swing bowling right now, thinking about fast bowling. What do you think is, give me 3 really crucial non-negotiables to allow you to bowl fast. What do you need in your bowling action, in your delivery stride, in general, to be able to bowl fast? Give me one. Long run-up and powerful strides, okay. Did Brett Lee have a long run-up? Do you know who Brett Lee is? You think so? Okay.
You do. I sent you a video.
Right. Brett Lee had a long run-up when he started playing cricket, and halfway through his career, stroke the back end of his career, his run-up was half the distance it was when he first started. Okay, so you need strong strides, but you do not necessarily need a fast or a long run-up. Okay, there's an Indian bowler by the surname or the name of Bumrah. I'm sure you know. How long is his run? It's about 5 steps. Okay, right. What else do you need? Come on, guys. Give me something. What do you need? Yes. Follow through. Okay, we need a follow through. Most bowling, we need a follow through. What else? Senior guys, what do you need?
A good wrist position.
Good wrist position to swing the ball. Fast bowling. I want to bowl fast.
Good braced legs when you're bowling.
Okay, there's our first one. Braced front leg. Okay? In your bowling, in your delivery stride, your front leg needs to be completely straight, so your knees need to be braced. Why do you think that is?
So you can use it as a pivot to drive over.
Okay, so you need something to bowl against. Okay, you need this front leg and your front side to bowl against. Think of a golf swing. The minute they're loaded, the minute they go to swing, this whole one side, in my case, my left side almost locks up, so I can swing against it. Think of a tennis player, the minute they go to hit a forehand, the whole one side locks up and they hit against that front side. Okay, same thing with bowling. You need your front side to be completely braced and strong so you can bowl against it. So good. Braced front leg. Okay? What else do we need? Yes.
Your back legs needs to be on its toes instead of front.
Okay. Have you done this before?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so braced front leg, back leg. We need to be, excuse my ugly socks, I didn't think of this very well. and my skinny legs, don't laugh. You need to try and have your back foot on the ball of the foot, stroke on the toes. Are the toes pointing towards my target or away from my target?
Towards.
Yeah, they're pointing towards the target along with the front foot, okay? So it's very difficult to bowl quick with a side-on foot, okay? So we've established brace front leg, balls on my feet. What else do I need now? You're getting there, you're giving me two, give me another one.
A fast run up.
No, not there, not really, but yeah, that helps. Brace front leg, balls of the feet, think about your arms. Standard. Okay? I need to use my levers. Okay? If I run up and get all cramped and my arms don't stretch out and I don't help my body move, I'm losing a lot of pace. Okay? So what we're going to work on is we're going to walk through this just for 10 minutes. That's all we're going to do. Okay? Not even 5 minutes. I would like you guys not even to go in, you're just going to find a bit of netting, and all you're going to do is feel that brace position, just slamming down your foot, getting your front leg nice and strong, and at the same time as you do that, I'm going to reach out with your front arm. Okay, so reaching as if you're grabbing the batsman's helmet, or whatever it is, your visual, try and get your elbow in line with your shoulder. Okay, so you're going to be in that position. And just a couple of times, feeling that. Once you've done it, I just want you just to ball into a side net. Okay, so it's just there, a couple of times and then feel, hopefully, this side locking up, your front side, and at the same time, once your hand is ready to go, you're then just going to bring it in nicely into your waist. And we're just going to play from there. You need to be in a very strong, balanced position. Okay, so by having that wider stride, that's allowing you to be in that stronger, more balanced position. If my feet were closer together and I tried to bowl, I probably wouldn't have as much impact on the ball than I would having a slightly wider stride. Does that make sense? It's the same concept or the same mindset. If I said to us, right, we're all going to run a race, let's get ready, you'd all start in that sort of position, wouldn't you? No one would really start standing upright with their feet close together. Okay, so having a bit of a base is quite important. We're going to finish off for about 4 minutes, okay, before I'm going to open the floor to you guys for any questions. But I'd like you, I'm going to say a challenge, I'd like you to pick your ball of choice, whether it be a waist swing or in swing, okay? But I'd like you to bowl 6 balls with intent and pace and swing. Okay? If you can bowl that and hit the stumps, brilliant. But right now, it's a work on for us, so I don't mind if it hits the side nets, if it's a roof, I really don't care. But if you're trying to bowl it with swing and pace, that's your only objective for the next 6 balls. Okay? The guys who are not bowling in your lane, your task is to give feedback to the person who's bowled every single ball. Okay? So yes, that swung wasn't quite, etc. Whatever it may be, the feedback, help each other out. That's good, isn't it? Hey, that's it. Sure. time to...
After something like
Yeah.
I just think there was more sort of energy
Yeah.
since we did the fast bowling bit.
Cool.
So everyone looked quicker and yeah.
So we got one thing, obviously this, we touched on a little bit of pace, okay? There's things that each and every single one of us can work on in terms of our action. Okay, some of us can get a little bit higher off the ground, some of us can use our chest and our head a bit more. I didn't go into that because that's very specific to you as individuals, but today's session was more as a broad swing bowling idea, okay, is to give you guys just a little bit of bits of advice, things I've picked up along the way. Again, some of it might not work for you, some of it might. Brilliant. Okay, as a coach, one of my jobs is to give you as much information as possible, and if you can walk away with even just one bit and find that useful, brilliant. Okay, but we need to just keep, and that's where you'll hear a lot of coaches and teachers and that say to you, just be sponges, absorb as much as you can, you speak to people, use as much information as you possibly can, find the bits that work for you and piece them all together, and eventually it will become something that's just second nature to you. Okay, so whether it's the little tip on the thumb position underneath the ball today, whether it's the grip and having the ball a little bit more comfortable in your hand, whether it's the relaxed fingers as opposed to the stiff locked out fingers, whatever it is, take the bits that are useful to you and try and practice them. Okay, what I would say is give it a try. Okay, and if it doesn't work and you think it's rubbish, then come to me and say, D, look, I don't think that really works, I don't like it, but be prepared because I'll ask you, well, why? Guys, like I said, it was a very broad thing on swing bowling. A lot of it could be tailored more specifically to you as individuals. If you've got any questions, I'm a phone call away, go through Ollie, go through Andrew, whatever it may be. But I'm happy to have a chat with any of you if there's any questions you have, or if you'd like to discuss anything about bowling, about cricket, about whatever it is. I'm there if you want to have a chat about anything. But hopefully you've walked away through those doors with even just one little bit of extra advice today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming along. But like I said, if you've got any questions, please just ask. Okay?